Vietnam was the newest major country added to GeoGuessr, and Vietnam has been a country that people have been striving to learn more of because it's pretty difficult, especially because of the shape. But in this video, I will give pretty decent tips for one, recognizing Vietnam, and the other, which is region guessing Vietnam. So let's just get into it. So the one of the best things for knowing it's Vietnam, that's not like language, flag, or anything like that, are these signposts. Because the actual sign itself, the red outline with the yellow interior, that's pretty much like a northern European thing. But you see this in Vietnam, and if you see this and it doesn't look like Europe, and it looks like Southeast Asia from the palms, the mountains and such, you know for 100% you're in Vietnam. Seeing these signs, very good information, because then you know it's in Vietnam, and then you of course then gotta see, okay, is it the north, is it the south, is it the center? And for a bit about the landscape of Vietnam, Vietnam is very mountainous on the super far north, and then pretty much the entire western border until you get to this southern area to where it gets pretty flat. And the very flat parts are going to be the southern area right here, like around Ho Chi Minh, and of course the Hanoi area with like Haiphong and Nam Dinh and such. But yeah, this signpost very good for knowing it's Vietnam. And then here we are with a little round. So very flat, very agricultural, pretty, I don't know if it's the right word, but wet. You know it's raining here. Pretty much. Oh, there's also yellow plates, which I didn't even know about that. But these flat agricultural like hubs and such, like I said, you only really see in like the Hanoi Haiphong area and then the very far south. But what I do tend to see, which this isn't like 100%, is that the area up near Hanoi is more dry than the area all the way down here. And also this area will be much more developed in most parts than the south, because like there's plenty of pretty much pretty open space here. Okay, and then here is probably my number one thing for actually region guessing Vietnam, which is the poles. So you see these poles, they're everywhere in Vietnam. The crossbar underneath or above, it could be a trapezoid, an A shape, or a triangle. Here we can see it's a triangle. It's a triangle downward. That pretty much locks it in that you're in this southern flat area. You're going to be in the far south. I will get to the other two in a bit, and like we see it there as well. And it looks like the other round. And here we are again with these, except we have it as trapezoids. The trapezoids are pretty much the north and the middle. The north and the middle, you will pretty much see these trapezoids. And now the A-shaped one, which I will get to in a bit, you see exclusively in the middle area. Also, these are some bollards. And then these yellow dash row lines you see in Vietnam too. See very boxy buildings and such. Yeah. So since we have the trapezoids, we're going to be in the north or the middle. And since we don't see mountains, we're likely to be on the coastal bits or like here. Okay, the language. The language is very distinct because you rarely see words that are more than like 5 letters. And you see it's very noticeable. Yeah, like I said, like barely any words are like more than like 5 to 6 letters. You see a lot of words. You see these signs above vowels and such. You see a lot of vowels. You see these same like prefixes and such. It's a very distinct language. And then the flag is just red with the yellow star on it. Yeah, the language is super distinct. And something I will say is about the subdivisions. If you are to learn the subdivisions, which would be useful because some of the signs could say like like Namdan or something. If you're like, okay, I don't know where that is, versus I do know, it's very good. These subdivisions are pretty much the exact like cities. Like Da Nang is one. A lot of these are like Tay Ninh, Kama, Bin, Don Hoa, but they are actually changing these subdivisions to incorporate more into bigger districts. So one, it makes subdivisions easier to learn, which is why I'm saying this, because before Vietnam was probably one of the hardest countries in Asia to learn the subdivisions for, but now it's much easier. So yeah, it feels more dry, so I went that more. Okay, and then I've talked about how this area is very mountainous. These areas are flat. This area is mountainous too. But the part that looks just like neighboring countries. Of course, you can see bits that look like Cambodia on like the Cambodian border. But I would say the parts that look like Thailand, because honestly, this looks like Thailand to me. I don't know how to describe it. Red soil, very dry. Yeah, I'd say red soil in Vietnam is pretty much this middle part in between like Nha Trang and like Da Nang pretty much. I guess the middle, when you see the red soil like this, or like somewhat red soil, and it being very dry, not too green but not too mountainous, you're gonna be in this little area here. Okay. And then we have the A pole on the top. This is what I was talking about. You see this all around the middle and the middle south, but not too north, not too south. And even if you didn't know that, this is more dry, more red. It is pretty green, but it's also somewhat mountainous. And over here, it looks like this could be Thailand or Cambodia. So you are going to be in this like middle section. Okay, I have a few things to say about around like this. One, the other poles. So you see holy poles, so you're seeing like Romania and like Hungary and stuff like Sri Lanka. You see holy poles all across Vietnam. But normally, the actual holes themselves don't go too far up. If they go almost to the top, that is a northern thing. And another northern thing, which I think is maybe more useful than that, is these red tile roofs you see all across Southeast Asia. If you see these little red parts sticking out from the apexes of them, like we see here, here. That's also a northern thing. And then we could probably find a trapezoid if we search. I don't see one because I don't see a pole. But yeah, those two things, and I guess the overall holy poles, is a very Vietnamese thing. Okay, it's a pretty short tips and tricks video, but I'm just getting to the point, and so you don't have to waste a lot of your life actually learning Vietnam, because the best way to learn is by playing and then noticing certain things and then adapting to it. But that is the end of this video. I'll see y'all next time.